Okay, you were very philosophical, Marcela, after that defeat to Saudi Arabia. I wonder if you were the same at halftime in this game.
No, absolutely not. The philosophical trait diminished over the past few days in this country among everyone, like big companies that put their entire promotional budget on hold, politicians who'd hoped to kind of pause bills and laws until, you know, the new year, because World Cup final, Christmas. People, we were not philosophical, and we were ready to, well, the thing I heard over and over again from everywhere I went, corner shop to, you know, work gatherings, was, we are not ready. I'm not prepared to be out of the World Cup by Saturday afternoon. And to be honest, watching them play, certainly for the first half, it felt like the players were ready to be out of the World Cup by today. And it was like, oh, but Messi had said in the week, don't panic, people, stay calm. We're not going to leave you for dead. Trust us. We will carry you through. So it's huge relief. And you can kind of sense it. I mean, it's fun. You know, you hear chants, the same chants echoing around the streets in the suburbs, out of windows. But it was really close. And I think, you know, well, you all saw what I did. It wasn't really compelling. I mean, I think for the neutrals, it wasn't like, wow, what quality football this is.
Yeah, I had it down, Marcela, as a kind of a 12A, moderate violence. But it shouldn't be dwelt upon. That's sort of what it was until
mild peril.
Exactly, until Lionel Messi, Marcelo. And I guess it always had to be, right? I mean, it feels silly to say that because it didn't have to be, but it was.
Well, I think, I mean, yes, it was, but I don't think it had to be. I think it was perfectly possible that it could have been someone else, and indeed, Enzo came in, the young guy. You know, I've been saying all week, we need the younger kids in there, and I think that will be an unforgettable moment for him, because he's ever so young. He just came in and scored and lifted us out. But 1-0 was okay, but the second goal was like fantastic. And I think there's a lot of I mean, if I was part of the technical team rather than the emotional contingent, I would think quite hard about what went on in that game, and perhaps a lot of the substitutions were used too quickly. I think Otamendi was clearly like in trouble at the end, and there was just no option. I think Di Maria possibly, I gather, like outside Argentina, he got quite a lot of bad press, to put it one way. But you know, people here were going, "What are you, Di Maria? What's going on?" And I don't know, it's tricky, but as I say, it's become such a kind of passionate frenzy that there is like no room for that kind of rhetoric right now. It's like, hurrah, Messi did it, hurrah, Messi saved us again, and that's what it's going to be for the next few days. I mean, it would be nice to think that they can build that team that won the Copa America, and that there's other goal scorers, other, you know, possibilities, and other play making to happen. It wasn't a great game, I'm not going to lie. It's just a great result.
Marcela, since you mentioned you're in the emotional contingent, so to speak, we've had quite a few questions from listeners throughout the evening.
Okay.
About why is this team looking like this? Because we've seen, like, in the Copa America, they looked so much better, and in qualifiers they've looked so much better. And I guess what sprung to my mind, which I'd like to ask you about, is the pressure, surely, that's on them, because they were kind of okay against Saudi until they went behind, and then they didn't seem to react very well at all, I thought, and they were really turgid and bad today. And I wonder if there's an element of the pressure on them, essentially, you know, it's Messi's last chance and all of this sort of stuff. Is that something you think might be affecting them?
I think that definitely, we can't underestimate the pressure there is on them now, and in a way, it's become almost enhanced. You know, it's so much was riding on this notion that we were going to win the World Cup, and if the Saudi the first match should have been sobering. In fact, it wasn't, and it was like double the pressure, because it felt like everybody was going to enter some kind of deep depression. And you know, this poor Messi had to do something amazing. And it might not be win the World Cup, but delight, you know. And so today it was kind of uglier football. As you say, I think the first game wasn't actually that bad. It was unlucky. I mean, I was hearing some stats that are completely new to me called expected goal aggregate, or XG.
welcome to the future.
14% for the 3 shots on goal that the Saudis had. And that's, you know, I don't know. It's odd. Today, they were not relaxed. They didn't go in onto the pitch going, look, whatever happens, happens. This is about joy and love, and we're going to play a good game. They were tense. And I don't know if it's because they knew that Tata Martino knows them really well, or they knew their own physical condition or something, or if it was just nerves. But it seems odd for what was the other stat, which was Argentina, first country ever to field 4 34-year-olds in a World Cup. They're so veteran and experienced. Why did they get the jibbers at this point? And I guess it's because they knew it was a real possibility that today was going to be it. You know, there was World Cup over, and you could tell that weighed on them, I think. I mean,
yeah, Barry, what did you make of it?
I thought it was a poor game, but understandably so. If I'd been playing for Argentina, A, they'd have been screwed, and B,
surprise selection by Scaloni there.
Yeah, I would have been an absolute nervous wreck. And I think it was quite obvious they were, you know, seriously under pressure. There was, I think, when Messi scored the goal, someone posted on Twitter a video of Pablo Aimar, who's on the coaching staff. He literally looked as if he was about to have a heart attack. He was hyperventilating, and his chest was heaving. He had his head in his hands, and I can't imagine what it's like to be under that kind of pressure. But once they got the goal, it didn't look like it was ever in doubt. And obviously, the longer it took them to get the goal, the more nervy they got. But they played with very little coherence. And I think Lionel Scaloni possibly overreacted by making 5 changes from the lineup against Saudi Arabia, which was a match in which they didn't actually play that bad. I know one of them was enforced by injury, but the rest, it did seem like a bit of a panic mood. That's not going to do much to instill confidence or ease any jitters. But in terms of tension, yeah, it was fascinating, but the quality of football was understandably poor.
Philippe, the quality of shithousery was actually quite high, and there hasn't been much of it in this World Cup. There was a lot of kicking people. There was a lot of clutching of faces and writhing, and I was absolutely here for every second of that.
So was I, but I was a bit disappointed because it seemed that it was going somewhere, that we were going to apex shithousery, and then it kind of calmed down.
Yeah, like we needed a red card, didn't we, in about the 50th minute or something?
The referee did too well, really. I mean, what the referee needed to do was to annoy everyone by giving some cards nobody liked and really made people go crazy. But I thought he handled the situation really well.
Yes, or really badly, depending on which point of view you take for that, because the spectacle would have been immeasurably improved by more shithousery and a few more cards. But I mean, it was so bad. It was extraordinary, actually. But yes, the shithousery didn't quite go to the level we were hoping. But the two things. I mean, maybe they'd forgotten so much about their football. It was almost like watching teams suffering from football aphasia, right? They couldn't talk football anymore. And to such an extent, they didn't even know how to talk football shithousery anymore. Do you see what I mean, Max? It was that bad.
Yeah.
But the way that this man, the Saudi ambassador, you have to say, I struggle for words because we are so used to exceptional things from him that I don't think we quite realize what it is for that man to be able to deliver in such circumstances when literally we were talking the pressure on the Argentinian team. Well, all of the pressure is on him.